who's going to have the massive mid-game impact, but now Navi, they've decided to go with the Wisp and the CK. So all of a sudden, you look at the heroes on the side of Fnatic and you're like, they're all Wisp CK food, right? Now I know it's not just dependent on that one hero combination countering what heroes Fnatic have, because a lot of it has to do with the lanes too. I just get that looming sense of, if Navi get an inch in this game, they're going to take a mile.
Yeah. Matt, you're 100% right. It's snowball as early game pressure. And it's also one of those things too where I'm actually wondering about the lanes. Like Bruno's put it up right now, whereas Wisp and CK heading in towards the middle lane. And I'm actually wondering that too, if it is actually going to be the Wisp and the CK in the middle lane, or we think about just leaving them up on the top, because you've got the Enchantress rotate in to gank up the Invoker. And that's all you really need. You only need one person. And I know James is probably going to be rolling over in his grave right now. No-tell, time for redemption, man.
First of all, he can do it, and second of all, James is not dead. So he's probably not rolling over in his grave.
Yeah, there we go. So it's going to be with CK up on the top lane. They use the OD to help set up for the Enchantress. That's the goal right now for Navi. Gank up the Invoker, keep him down, and make sure he's got a couple extra points up in the Quas and not the Exorb. Because with one Burrow Strike, if it does connect, Sunstrike, possibility for Shackle, possibility for the Venomancer Gale as well, you could be in a lot of trouble.
I'm also just thinking about how good Sand is against Wisp, because when you relocate in, you can time the Burrow Strike to hit both heroes like every single time, because they always come in right on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then if you do that, you can line up the Shackles super easy. So in that sense, I think the Fnatic have really nice heroes for countering just the teleport itself. The laning phase for me is going to decide a lot, because they have an OD on the side of Navi already, which ideally they would want to put against the Invoker. I think it's pretty obvious to see if they want to go mid with that, and it's going to be hard for them to deal with. But what Fnatic could do is they could just decide to do some sort of a safe lane instead, and yep, there's the Pugna.
Push.
I really like the Pugna here, because Navi, they're going to have some time before they can really take proper engagements, you know? Because you want your Wisp to get 6, you want relocate. Enchantress typically gets a bit more far back than a Chen would. The Chen just goes straight for the mech, and then he's just fight, push. Enchantress can make that transition into more of a semi-carry oriented type of a hero. So there's going to be this window of opportunity for Fnatic. You got an Exort Invoker for push, you got a Pugna for push, you have really nice AoE stun from Sand King to kind of diminish the potency of a relocate, at least until the CK gets a BKB.
Yep.
And then you have Wind Ranger to follow it up, an insane amount of damage coming out from the Venomancer as well.
I'm still wondering how strong it's going to be on the lanes though, because I'm still very, very concerned about that OD and with the Enchantress rotate in. With that, like, we just need one last hero on this offlane. Bounty Hunter would have been a great pickup for this offlane, and right now there's not really a hell of a lot of options for Fnatic, unless he wants to go the one hero, which we haven't really seen at all, which is the Timbersaw. But up against heroes like Pugna, Invoker, SK, it's going to be a really, really rough time for him if that's the case. But Navi also have the other option. I actually can't believe we haven't talked about this, because instantly, as just said, it's going to be with CK on the top lane. There's no reason to take a risk. But with an Enchantress, you've got a lot of potential to go aggressive jungle. You've got the potential to actually run an aggressive tri-lane. I always use Ryze as my best example for this one. Clockwork will be the last pickup, so you do see him, but for the first time, not the first pick, but for the first time, the last pick. I'm just wondering if Navi go balls deep here on the bottom lane and just say, we can take this. We can take this, because if Fnatic on the bottom lane is not going to have the best time if he gets hit by a Gale, and No-Tail just Burrow Strikes in, it's, then again, level 1 is be okay.
I don't think he dies either, though. Like, even if he does get Galed, if he cogs properly, cogs can essentially cover the entire width of the lane. So as long as he doesn't go into, like, full panic mode, it's still going to be very difficult for them to catch out a Clockwork. If you get Galed, a level 1 Burrow Strike is hard to get into Cog's width to try to stop him from walking away and just hitting it and just walking down to his tower. So we're going to see how the lanes are going to shape up here in a minute, but we are also going to be getting inside of the draft in just a second, or the game, excuse me, in just a second. I just am really happy to see Fnatic picking this kind of a style, because earlier on in the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, they ran stuff like this. They ran the Invoker, they ran these kind of early mid-game centric push lineups that could also fight very well, and they executed it amazingly well.
The crowd is going to be applauding right now while Fnatic is going to attempt. This is some ballsy play. If they succeed with this, their momentum rolling into this early game is going to be so insane. They throw down a couple of wards. They're smoked up and gone to the jungle. Now the smoke is going to wear it off, and Kuro and Avos are coming in the worst way. They can get shackled here and they're going to back up. OG's got an imprisonment. Dandy, Burrow strike. No-Tail starts off well. Gale, blast, Dandy, the Tender's coming in, trying to get him away to safety. Then the Enchantress heal as well, leveled up by Puppy. Now the 1 second, No-Tail is going to go down right now. He needs one more hit. Puppy's low. No-Tail, he does die. Kuro gets the last, and it's the whiff. And now Dandy comes back into the fight. Fly, Harney, battling up with Avos and Fnatic. This pair's holding hands. Early imprisonment from Dandy is slowing down Era. One last blast, but now he will go down. The Enchantress took the ball up next to T1 Tower. Trixie dived in so far for that one. But we get 2 for 1 in favor of Navi. 1 kill for OD, 1 kill for Windrunner, 1 kill for Wisp. And Harney's still being harassed back out by Kuro.
I gotta say, that could have gone a heck of a lot worse for Fnatic, considering what ended up happening. They dumped everything on Adendi, and they didn't get him straight away, and he was able to recover and eventually walk out of the fight. By that time, No-Tail was already way too far in. He had no method of escape. He actually pulled a really nice attempted juke, but it just didn't end up working out for him, so a little bit of an edge for Navi going into the early game. I don't think it's going to necessarily cripple Fnatic, but now Navi, they're taking a note from your book, and they're saying, yeah, we're just going to go aggressive.
This is what I was talking about, where you can just continuously pummel this bottom lane. And No-Tail's going to have a really bad start here, because in comes Avos. Like, if he gets a good 2-second stump, you've obviously only got heal up at level 1. So this actually is rather interesting. They've got to let Enchantress be alone on this lane. I almost want to say, like, Avos move out of the lane and let Puppy do this. Yeah, I think Puppy just gave him the call right then. Say, let me take this creep wave. He needs this level. He needs that level of enchant, because without it, this aggression on the bottom lane, it just doesn't exist. And they're giving him so much space. So Kuro and Avos, they stop the pull from happening while letting Puppy catch up on the level. Because he needed to do that. Without that, Denny was dead. It's that simple. And Avos is trying to farm this up. Fly, No-Tail, Burrow strike. Second one's going to connect. Sunstrike coming in. It's a little bit high up. The Kuro moves into it. The Tether's still there in Era with the blast. He's got enough damage. Kuro, he will die. Fnatic level up at 2 apiece. Nice contest there from Fnatic on the pull spot.
Yeah, really nicely done. That Sunstrike was right on the money. It looked actually that it was going to miss for a second there.
It did. If Kuro didn't walk up, it would never have connected. But it's only a level 1 Sunstrike. It's like 100 damage to take him out.
Man fight going on between Fnatic and Trixie and top.
Maybe.
Oh, power shot misses.
Trixie. One more hit. One more. He doesn't have a rocket. And now they can turn Trixie. He's got no mana left. He needs 2 hits to kill off Fnatic now. But who's got consumables? Clockwork just used the salve, but Wind Range is already out. He's bone dry right now.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. If Trixie lands that power shot, he kills Fnatic like 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, No-Tail. What a rune to have. What a rune to have. He's already landed 2 amazing stunts, and with Kuro and Puppy as grouped up as they are, Fly's aggressive movement is probably making it a little bit more obvious of what's going on. But Navi didn't have vision of that rune. They only have a ward watching the top rune, so they do not know that SK is invis right now. They just know he's missing, and he's stalking Puppy as closely as possible. Puppy's still got enchant, but it comes off cooldown in 5 seconds time, and the setup won't help him survive up against No-Tail. But then again, no other supports rotating over here, so invis wears off, and Puppy, there'll be a Burrow strike. No-Tail, maybe force him to run around, and Puppy will just pop off the hill. So it all equates to nothing.
It's forcing him out, isn't it?
Or bottom lane, Reality Rift is going to go on Era, 2 seconds on the stun, and they've got this one. Kuro's remaining in close, but Era decrepifies, goes for the blast as well, decrepifies himself, trying the quick salve, on the run, one more attack, Kuro, he got it through the tree line, and now over towards Fly. They let Avos have the last hit, Puppy was raising the spear, but ends up sheathing it. And now Navi get another 2 kills in the bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom tower
I gotta say,
is under attack.
That juke would have worked if there was no ward there. I mean, he would have gotten away there, Arrow would have, if that ward was not placed by Navi.
Trixie, power shot at level 2. I don't think it's going to be enough damage. Not 182 life points.
No, definitely not, because power shot level 2 only hits for 200, so really that means it hits for about 150.
Yeah.
He would have needed like an auto or 2, depending on if he got a stout shield.
Do you think that Navi almost know that Fnatic are just going to come at them right out of the gate, just run at them, so they're kind of prepared for that super aggressive start?
Well, if you look at Fnatic's draft, if the Pugna gets a free lane, it becomes very difficult for you to function during the mid game, because even if you have a Wisp CK relocate, having Nether Ward and having such insane AoE damage on heroes like Venomancer once he gets 6, Pugna himself, Sand King Epicenter, You have Meteor as well. There's such this large area of, we can't really fight you, even if we relocate on you, because we'll just straight up die. So they fight.
Right now, they're coming down for Notel. The Spirit's coming out. The reality rift, they couldn't connect. A little bit too far away, but at the same time flies Gale. It actually wafts. It only hit the two illusions of Wisp, not the real one.
I think he just lost vision of him around the tree. He just went into the fog.
Downside of nighttime, kicking in at 4 minutes now. Imagine if this was still the older version. You still have daytime.
I really like the way that Navi is playing it, though, because this type of aggression means that the Pugna is never going to get to a tower to hit it. And that's really what you pick the Pugna for. You pick him for, at least in the beginning of the game, to be able to apply pressure to mid if he goes mid, but if he's in the safe lane, you farm him up maybe a mech, you go for a BKB, and then you just start pushing towers as 5. Because Navi have decided to just cut them off, the Pugna having a worse start is kind of countering the fact that Kuro is not having that good of a start either, because of the fact that this is an aggressive tri-lane. But in the grand scheme of things, it's better for Kuro to be behind than it is for the Pugna to be behind.
True. I'm still wondering how far behind Hardy is. Like, he's 16-6 up against a 25-17 OD in this middle lane. Like, I knew if this lane was going to be bad for him. I just didn't think it was going to be this bad for him. Because Denny is just outstripping his damage. Like, he's dealing over 100 damage right now while Invoker, but he keeps getting imprisoned up. It's at 41 plus 36. Bottom lane, initiation. There's already the reality rift into the vault, but he only got 1 second stun now. Notel, Barrow strikes into Puppy to lose the alpha for this. Mini Shackle, Trixie comes in, and Puppy is healed. It won't be enough. Kuro will tender himself away to safety in a moment. But they just rotate the Windrunner down to only pick up the Enchantress.
They have to rotate, though. They can't just keep letting this lane go badly. They realize how important it is for Era to be able to find something, and he's actually going to take his teammates' TP.
Oh, Trixie. Tether up. They need this Chaos Bolt right now. Reality Rift in first. There's a TD rune in the bottle for Kuro, and he's triggering it off right now, so he's got a lot of damage. Hitting into Notel is going to Burrow Strike him up. Into the Sandstorm as well. Remember, no Tether stun this time around, so Notel can sit here for, well, a little bit. It's only a level 1 Sandstorm, so they wait for him to come back out again. Is he going to Burrow Strike through? He's denying himself to the Hellbears. So denies himself to the neutrals. Avor thought he was running east, Kuro thought he was running south, but he just denies himself straight.
Yeah, really nice play there by Notel, not giving away anything extra to the other team. I'm a bit surprised they didn't catch him there, though, because it's only level 1 Sandstorm.
Yeah.
The invisibility delay is...
It's like 10, 15 seconds, I think.
Well, the Invis delay got changed.
No, I know, it's 1.5 seconds at all levels now, but I'm just saying...
But the duration of the storm...
Yeah,
the
level
20,
1 Sandstorm is not very long.
Yeah. But either they waited right on top of the Sandstorm, which they didn't do. Like, one went down, one went east. They just needed one right click to kill him off anyway. The only thing they didn't really predict was he ran up north, and then the nighttime vision wasn't going to be great enough for them to see him. Fnatic, hook shot, top lane. Right on top of Trixie, battery assault. He's stuck in here. This is like the Gladiator's ring of death. Pugna Blaster trying to help him off, but Era to Crimify onto Fnatic. He doesn't have any other way to follow this up. Fnatic just retreats while Invoker dies in the bottom lane, or middle lane, sorry. Poppy retreating out. Denny is still able to support. The need Sentry was. Tether comes in. Where's these balls? There it is right now from Kuro. Looking for Notal with no matter whatsoever. Denny's already dropped the ulti to kill off that Invoker. And Kuro's still looking for one hero, but they're not going to find anybody. In fact, now with Era rotating in towards the middle lane, Kuro's going to be careful. These balls have just revealed off his position. He's going to tether himself away. No, he's going to be okay.
His balls are giving him away. I guess the spirits don't hit invisible heroes.
No, they do.
They do?
Yep.
Interesting.
There are actually only a few abilities in the game that don't hit invisible units that are considered AoE.
Venom, or did they change that?
I think they changed all of his abilities, actually, because Gale used to not hit invis either.
Yeah,
so.
Gale definitely does hit invis now.
That is some pounding music.
It really is. Like, the wubs are just,
yeah.
They're translating from the other stage. I think it's a StarCraft
On the bright side, I think it's stopped the static, so
No, I think I've moved my mic onto the desk. So it's got a direct line.
That's the plan.
If you can hear the wubs at home, we can feel them through the seat of our pants.
Hey, there's nothing like vibrating chairs during a game. Kuro, Notal, Burrow Strike hits again. Sunstrike's in the way, it's a little bit eyes on. Shackle and Power Shot, everything they've got. Puppy again trying to pop this heal to keep his teammates alive. But now the Reality Rift into the Chaos Bomb. 2 seconds on the stun. The Netherworld will drop down, but they just move in with a Wild Wing as well as a Vorst.
Radiant's bottom tower
They clean it up.
under attack.
Era's hiding behind the T1 tower. Fnatic baiting once, baiting twice. But he ends up missing. TP's coming towards the bottom lane. Avors is here. Notal. Burrow Strike off cooldown again, but he doesn't. He's going to have to go for Fnatic. Burrow Strike. Well, it hits, but he's still getting battery assaulted. Power Shot flies in. Notal's the one who got in trouble. With that Chaos Bolt flying out and the damage out from the battery assault, it was more than what they needed.
The way that Navi are playing this, they're giving Era no breathing room at all. That was the biggest threat that Fnatic had right now, is just being able to push those towers so fast that Navi would be uncomfortable during the mid game. Because if they decided to dodge this lane and Era gets free farm, suddenly you're up against a Pugna who is a lot harder to deal with. But when you have mass stuns and very high damage output, it's really easy to just isolate the Pugna and flat out kill him. So Navi apparently just know how to deal with this hero to a T.
Yeah. We're gonna ourselves a bit of a call coming out, asking Notel to loop himself around towards the middle lane. But that's only if Denny remains rather aggressive. But right now, he's still 3 imprisonments buffed. And he's getting more help coming in towards the middle lane. It's Fnatic coming in. He doesn't have hook shot though. It's still on corner for 5 more seconds, but the intimidation just turns him around a little bit more. While Kuro now gets bottled up by Zidi. No, they're going to leave it for Fnatic. Invis route coming in for Fnatic. So the rotation around stops, even though Notel and Trixie have now come up. But Navi have dragged their entire team down, realizing that Trixie abandoned that top lane.
Well, he kind of had to have abandoned it.
Oh, Hardy. Oh, Hardy. Cogged. No way to escape from this one. Then he's still got ulti available with the battery assault. It was just an easy setup. Trap got off his mana. It's a point-blank range hook shot. And then the Burrow strike. Going on the CK. I mean, a CK ended up killing him the Pugna, but it's Notel. Does swap up. No way to run away from this one. OG just nukes him down. Marlow was on the bottom lane behind the T1 tower, which is where the Pugna ended up dying. And Wisp will now hit level 6 too. So we add relocate 11 minutes into this fight, into this game. We add that to the field for Navi.
This is not looking good for Fnatic.
Well, don't look at the gold graph then, because it's going to look even worse.
I don't want to see it at all. Wow. Oh, that is commanding.
It dips and it dips bad. It's the canyon, basically. But Canyon's still
the net worth. Look at the net worth is already.
Hey, for the first time, finally we get the new Vanguard. The bug-fixed Vanguard up and running for the CK.
Yeah, for those people who don't know, the Vanguard previously, even though it said 70% block chance, it was actually only around 54. I think it was, or 55. It wasn't fully blocking as much as it should have.
Middle lane, Den's in trouble. Call snap, Burrow Strike's going to hit, Sunstrike's coming in as well. Wiz Boldy, though, is going to try and have a crack at this, but they're in the middle of 4 heroes. The Shackle will not connect, and Avorti got a 4-second stun out in Hani. Puppy came in from the side as well. The heal's keeping him up to any of this harassment damage. It's really doing nothing. Notel Burrow's out. Now they're tethered back in again, and the ulti. It pulls the CK down to the bottom lane. Poppy is left to his own devices after losing the OD. At the same time, Clockwork rockets in and picks up the SK behind the tier 1 tower. Fnatic still wants to latch in. He's got ulti available. He sees Fly, he sees Trixie, but he has no support to really capitalize.
Just his presence is enough. They turn and run.
I really like the fact that, all right, I'm gonna get quoted on this. I like that Host went Vanguard. I'll say it.
Whoa.
Quoted, storing, middle lane. Oh, hook shot from Fnatic. He tried to actually hook into the imprisoned target Era, which does not work, but Hani now locking the cogs. Double of them for Fnatic. They destroy the Netherworld almost instantly as well, and then they move over to Era. The Wisp balls are flying. The DD route is triggered off as well by Kuro, and he actually hits up the hill, and OT just ults him down. Shackle will fly, will not be able to work. The imprisonment from Denny instead, and they try and block him into a corner. Notel, he's got Burrow Strike, but the Lord of the High Ground reveals him off. He actually goes infinite, sorry, sandstorms it out. Burrow Strikes down into the tree line, into the safety of the tier 1 tower, but how safe is it? When a Vorce is rotating back up again, they're looking for him around the corner. Notel, there's the pull back in again, back up to the secret shop. They lose another one too. Enchantress was the sacrifice for it all. But Navi is getting kill after kill after kill.
Jesus
I wish.
Christ. Kids, turn it down!
I wonder what song is playing.
Can anyone tell me the name of the song?
Oh my God! It's happening!
It's happening.
It's happening!
Please. It really is happening, but I do want to say this about the game. Fnatic definitely have a long road ahead of them if they want to come back. I wanted to talk about the Vanguard because if you think about the damage output that Fnatic have, it's a lot of magic damage, but if Avos can live through that burst, then all of a sudden the Vanguard becomes an item that makes him very tough to deal with, and it lets you tower dive very aggressively. The rest of his team does a lot of damage anyway. They have Impetus, they have Chaos Ball.
Oh, Shackle, middle lane. Strike's going to go on Denny. No-Tail was two, and he got him. He got Kuro as well as Sandy. Reverse, he'll get this on a No-Tail, but the Venom ulti goes out as well. Rocket in, Hardy gets a double. Hook shot up, maybe high. It does, he picks up Fly. Then forced up back down again. Shackle, oh, that was so close to latching up the double. But with his Punk and Blast, they're really hurting hard, but not as hard as the Chaos Bolt. Going into Hardy, Punk and dies behind the tower. Kuro's everywhere, Puppy with a double kill. They get rid of the ward. Windrunner's still in the neighborhood. Wind runs away. The Impetus continues to fly. Luckily for him, missing up the hill. Fnatic's still chasing down. He's got four stuff and used it. Shackle, almost perfect. And then the movement in from Chaos Knight. Navi at 24-8 right now. 2 games up here in the Dream League Grand Final and about to break their curse. Reverse is looking for No-Tail in the mid, but he needs help. And he's got it. It's in the neighborhood, and it's actually the Wisp. Kuro's in there, 3 seconds on the stun, maximum damage though.
This is the most Dota thing that's ever happened. We're watching Navi win whilst listening to Darude Sandstorm.
You can't even make memes about this.
This is beyond anything.
Apparently even the fighting game community are going nuts over the Darude Sandstorm.
It's crazy.
Well, he is live here at DreamHack. Everyone was talking about it. Navi's now trying to secure themselves everything they can claim. They haven't even taken all the tier 2 towers yet. They're taking the bottom. No, kick on the bottom lane. There's already Fnatic. He's in on Trixie right now. With a power shot, he's overcommitted himself. But while he's doing that, Roshan is still belonging to Navi.
Hashtag space created.
Look at the gold. 10,049. Easy money for the partner. And now Hardy might eat his words. Realizing the down No-Tail. Burrow Strike in the sentry. Shackle. He uses the Frost Ogre. Burrow Strike on 2, but there's no epi. Now OG drops the ulti on No-Tail, and they keep fighting. 4 seconds stun, but minimal to no damage, but the Wisp falls. They slap No-Tail across the face, looking for Trixie as well. Imprisonment. There goes your wind run duration. He'll come back out this one, and please no. Oh no. It's going to keep going in deeper. The grab a fire on Public, but they just drag the partner back. An ulti in deeper. Fly gets nailed as well. 29-9 right now. Navi are rolling with all punches possible.
Whoa.
I think this was the secret weapon that Puppy was talking about. They start playing Darude during the game.
Darude.
And all of a sudden,
He Pyro Strikes. They force tapped him in. So strikes him. He's going to reality rift away from it. Now the tether comes in. Harney nailed on. They're actually in now. 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes in. No-Tail hides. And he's just like, yeah, get detection. Pyro Strike down to Kuro and Poppy. He is instantly nailed and slapped down by a horse. Denny's back in. Fly with the ulti. He can't kill anybody off here. However, Denny really low. There goes the Aegis, but again the clockwork. Fantastic controlling Trixie as well as Era in position. Dandy up towards the high ground. Now they just are having some fun with Fnatic. They are wiping them inside their own base. Not even needing a tower, not even needing a creep wave. And GG! Navi will break the DreamHack first and take for the first time ever their title. Their title of DreamHack champions here for the first ever season of the Dream League.
what really can you say about the last game? I mean, well-deserved, honestly. They played from the beginning of the game. They started off getting the first blood, the other kill, and from then they never looked back. They just had an advantage pretty much the entire game. They lane directly against the Pugna, and they say, look, we realize what kind of strengths Pugna brings to a team. We're not going to let him get any semblance of farm. We're going to play hyper-aggressive the entire time, and we're just not going to give Fnatic any breathing room at any point in the game.
Yep. They went disco all over them.
It was a great performance. Perfect Game 3 finish for Navi. They really proved it, that when it came to it at the end here, they absolutely delivered in all 3 games. I don't think that it's a no-doubter.
A no-doubter, I like that. It's pretty good.
That can work. That can work. James, thoughts? Mike, thoughts?
Are you on?
Any Michael
I don't think
James?
you're on.